Today we're inside a 2025 Mini Countryman taking a look at the all-new Mini infotainment system. This is one of the biggest changes, I think, to the Mini lineup in quite some time, and you're going to see this not just in the Countryman, but a number of Mini models coming up soon. So let's talk about what's new. First, there's the display itself. This is an OLED display, so it's really quite thin. The entire bezel here is only maybe about ½ an inch thick. It also is highly customizable. Of course, the software, the core software behind everything, is based on the same software that drives a number of BMW models, but the design is definitely minified. You'll notice now we have one of the looks up here. You can change that by clicking this sort of experiences knob down here, and you can actually cycle through the various experiences here. We have green, we have vivid, we have timeless, we have balance, we have the trail mode in this particular model, and you can also select which one of these various modes you would like the vehicle to start up with each time. So now that we're in the go-kart mode, you can see it's really more of a racy, sporty themed thing, and we also have sound effects that are also being amped up in the cabin. So the motor sound, etc., that's all been increased. If we go to the green mode, this is obviously the efficiency focused mode for the vehicle. We then get sort of the efficiency display there, and again, some of those sound effects coming through. As we've seen in Minis for a while, this display is a combination of instrument cluster and infotainment system. The entire display is touch enabled, so depending on exactly where you touch the screen, various things may pop up. So mostly up here in the instrument cluster section, it's going to pop up things like your driver assistance and your drivetrain settings. So for instance, the safety and warnings options here, how you want those various safety systems to act in the vehicle, whether you want exit warning, traffic light warning, etc. Also, driver assistance while you're driving, speed limit assistance, lane guiding and navigation. We also have the Assisted Driving Plus system, which has basically been borrowed out of the BMW lineup. It does allow you to take your hands off the steering wheel, so it is a hands off the wheel assist system, and that's thanks to a driver monitoring sensor behind the steering wheel. You can also change how you want notifications, route speed control, things like that, etc. We also have the same sort of parking assistance technologies that we find in other models in the lineup. So emergency braking at the rear, that's definitely something that I like, for instance. Additional emergency braking on the sides helps keep you from running into things in your driveway if you're worried about that. Drive-off monitoring, strong drive-off is prevented if there's an obstacle. That's actually kind of handy as well. Cross-traffic warning, etc. We have a 360-degree camera system integrated with this vehicle now, and some of that is also available via a dedicated parking button down at the bottom of the instrument cluster. For instance, that brings up the parking sensors and the 360-degree camera system. You can select these different views to get a different idea of what's going on around your car. So camera view there, and then we have an augmented reality Mini that has been put on there so you can see what's going on. On the forward view camera as well as the side view cameras, we also have adaptive lane lines. And even cooler than that, we have a camera that actually steers as you rotate the wheel around, which is another really cool touch. If you'd rather have that top-down view, you can do that as well. Other views include the panorama view, a parking assistance view where you can see better what the parking sensors are seeing, a 3D view where you can actually see what's going on around the car, and you can change the perspective with these different touch points over here. We then have a car wash view, and that's so you can see exactly where you're going to put those tires up front. Depending on how you want to look at it, the system has a number of different home screen views. So you can hit that home button down there and get this view. You can also swipe across and get things like a fuel economy view, weather view, media view right there. You can also do mapping, and of course you can tap that and get a full screen map layout. This definitely gives me like 1960s James Bond vibes, because all those spy shows, they had moving map displays on your watch that were round. I always thought that was kind of cool. We then also have a connected device view right there, and if you'd rather have more of the timeless view, you can also have your speedometer, your power, your fuel gauge expanded out nice and large as well. Of course, that's really going to look the coolest, I think, in the timeless theme. Let's go and show you that. It takes a little while to load because it has to do the sounds and the animations, etc., but we get that kind of cool look there. Although, admittedly, if you are doing Apple CarPlay or some of those other modes, then that is going to take over the theme. And this is kind of one of the cool things about this system, something we've seen in other eccentrically shaped displays. The background color is actually being driven by the iPhone itself, and that is user selectable. This is just right there on the default wallpaper for the iPhone, but I could choose a blue, background, for instance, and that would snap to that blue background, so you can now see that that has taken over effectively the entire round screen, giving it more of a harmonious look. Mapping, obviously, that is going to be this sort of square map design right there on the iPhone, like we see in vertical orientation screens. That I think makes the most sense for the screen layout. I think that a lot of folks, however, actually are probably going to gravitate towards the native Mini interface just because of the look, because it is pretty darn cool. Now, if I click this button again, we get our various apps, and they're sorted and categorized here. So you can see just the infotainment apps that are integrated in the system: Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, AM/FM radio, that kind of thing. And then apps in CarPlay, those are also available in there as well. Vehicle-related apps only, the Mini Connected Store where you can download additional things, driver settings, experiences, interior and exterior lighting. Let's take a look at the exterior lighting, because this is one of the cool things with the latest Minis. Not only do we get the headlight controls there, we also get settings here. So if we let's actually stay up there, driving light mode, this is where you adjust the tail lights. We get all these cool 3D animations, and they're really nicely done in the system, but here's why you want to go to this option. Right now we have the Union Jack theme on the rear taillights. If I turned off the vehicle, actually I'll go ahead and do that now, because it is kind of weird that you have to turn off the vehicle to actually change these options. The vehicle cannot have the engine running, basically. Go back to the exterior lighting there. Now you can change between these different themes. So on the back, that's the favorite theme, that's the Union Jack Classic theme, and then there's the John Cooper Works theme. It also updates the daytime running lights up front. So you see those 3 different layouts in that design. I am kind of surprised that you have to have the engine off. That probably has something to do with legislation around the world. Of course, we get the big fasten seatbelt warning there and notifications about what doors are opening, etc. whenever you turn on the car. To adjust the climate control, you can tap on that and then tap up and tap down. You can also slide your finger around. You can heat your seats or heat your steering wheel there. 3 different levels for each of those. If you are not in that mode, you can also just tap and it will go up and down. It'll of course pop that up at the same time as well. The system functions very much like a round tablet. Admittedly, it's actually not completely round, because this bottom section actually is not illuminated, but you can slide up from the bottom and you can access shortcuts. So for instance, if I wanted to add a shortcut here, if I was logged in with the right Mini ID, I would be able to add shortcuts. Of course, you need to log in with your Mini ID to do that, and since this is not my Mini, it's Mini's Mini, I do not have access to that particular feature, rather unfortunately. Moving down the options, we have interior lighting here. This is where you can access not just the reading lights in the vehicle, but also adjust the ambient lighting and the light projection. That light projection is actually projected on the fabric dashboard here from some lights that are right there behind the screen. And then you can choose whether you want them to be reduced for night driving or not. You can also turn on and off the lighting effects, the welcome lighting, things like that. Mini has really been leaning into customization and some of the lighting and visual experiences in the vehicle, and all of that is related to this screen up here as well. You have the built-in user's manual, which is definitely kind of a handy touch, trip data, vehicle status, things like that. This is where, again, animations come into play. You can check your tire pressure, your engine oil level, etc. We get our trip computer readouts there. Again, more animations. I'm not entirely clear why we need animations everywhere, but they're really well done. So if I put this in reverse and then start rolling backwards, you'll actually see the wheels actually start going forwards and backwards. So they definitely paid a lot of attention to those animations. I think this is easily the most feature-rich and easiest to use infotainment system we have ever seen in a modern Mini. It also is certainly the most stylish. I love the various experience themes. I really like that timeless theme, but the vivid theme is also kind of cool. Really bright poppy colors. Again, those sort of animations that come up in the system. You'll notice the native color right there is really this sort of really bright plum color, I guess you'd say. And it really goes through all of the various themes in the vehicle. So if you'd rather have, your gauges up there, those are really bright red as well. Just goes with the playful theme of this interior. Let me know what you think about all this, and of course, check out the full video on the Countryman. You'll find links down there in the comment section. See all of you later.